I'd now like to welcome our first, now that the AGM's over, I'd now like to welcome our first speaker for this afternoon's session, Lisa Randall, who's a highly skilled and long practicing therapist, trainer, business person who specialises in massage, bodywork, yoga, fitness, and nutrition. She's had a very extensive career in public relations and marketing, both here in Australia and the US, and she shifted gears into the wellness industry in 2010, and it's eventually led to her opening an award-winning day spa. She's also a qualified training and trainer and assessor, and is currently delivering Cert 3, Cert 4, and diploma courses via an RTO within Brisbane. Lisa will be presenting Getting the Competitive Edge in Holistic Therapies, Marketing Tips and Tricks. Everyone, please put their hands together for Lisa. There you go.
Okay. Okay, cool. Hey, everyone. How's everyone going? Good? Good. Okay, so first question is, how many of you have websites and or are active on socials? Okay, so if you are not, social media, so that can be Twitter, which is now known as X, I believe, Facebook, obviously Instagram, and possibly TikTok even. I'm not on TikTok with my business, but depending on what demographic you're trying to communicate with, you might be on TikTok. And of course, we have LinkedIn as well as a variety of other platforms. So I just wanted to get a sense of where you're all at, because I don't want to be preaching to people who know what you're doing, but I'm here to talk about really a few good strategies that you can sort of do yourself, sink your teeth into, help build your clientele and or just your brand. Even if you're as busy as you want to be, it's always a good idea to be aware of your online presence and how you're marketing yourself, because that is still important. It's not a dirty word. We're in a service industry. We're in an industry where we want to help people. It might be more medically oriented, whatever it is, but you still need to let people know what you're doing and what you're about. Okay, so that's sort of where I'm coming from. That big background is not to sort of big note myself, but it's hopefully to give you an idea of how many failures I've had over the years. Okay? Like, I've had a lot of success, but I've also had a lot of failures. So now that I'm older, I like to be in a position where I can kind of mentor people, up and coming therapists, and I work in the beauty industry, the aesthetics industry as well. So it's nice to be able to share, a little bit of kind of some of the hard knocks that I've taken over the years to, hopefully now I can say I'm in a pretty good solid space with my businesses. I have a couple of different on the go, and hopefully give you something you can utilize here. So hopefully some really practical stuff for you. So I wanted to, it's got a really cool little thingy, I think, off the back of here. Oh yeah, look at that. My cat like that. All right, so again, I'm assuming most of us here are massage therapists. Is there anyone else who's kind of outside that? I know I was talking to Roberta before. She's a little bit on the edge. What do you do, sir?
I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner.
Oh, beautiful. Done a little bit of Ayurveda. Fantastic. Anyone else? Yeah. Acupuncture. Okay, cool. So everyone else is pretty much a remedial massage therapist or something of that sort. Some hands-on body work. Yeah, okay, cool. So when we talk about holistic therapies, we really, these days, it's getting even, more and more complex on what falls under this umbrella, isn't it? We become specialists, we get into niche markets. Susan, she's in aromatherapy, et cetera. So, and then some of us are crossing over. I'm a yoga teacher, I have a yoga studio, as well as a skin therapist, a remedial therapist. I'm trained in fitness as well. So, I'm kind of like what I'd call a holistic type of practitioner. Okay, so it's not just about presenting yourself only as a remedial therapist. Obviously, the more education you do, talking to the lovely lady over here, all this oncology and working with new moms and moms to be, you become an expert in what you do. And oftentimes that includes lots of other types of therapies as well. Okay, so think of yourself holistically as you go through your journey, and how you present yourself and how you market yourself. we did all that. Okay, so why do we market our business? As I said, it really is essential. So I'm doing some online training at the moment with some ladies. One is a Chinese medicine practitioner, and she has no online presence whatsoever. She's got no website, and she's, I don't want to use the word afraid, but when I talk about things like being the face of your brand, I can see her wilting, going, this is not for me. I do not want to be the face. I don't want to put myself out there. But I really believe that when you're a therapist and you're in this business to build relationships, to help heal people, to, all of the good things we do, you must be the face of your business. Do we all agree with that? Yeah. So you must become comfortable with presenting yourself online. Okay, and you all have this amazing amount of knowledge and expertise that you can be helping your clients and your clients to help their understanding of what you do and what you can offer them. So it might be educational in nature, but at the end of the day, they need to know you. They need to know who you are and what you can do for them, right? So again, it's not a dirty word. Marketing and communications in the holistic world the therapy world is not meant to be a dirty word. Okay, I don't know how you all feel about it, and hopefully, for those of us who've been around a bit longer. I mean, I was here before Facebook came about. I was here before I was here when email pretty much just started. Okay? I'm a little bit younger than I am, right? So, I've seen the progression of how this stuff has come about, and it's some of us who, the younger generation are much more comfortable. We've got some younger faces in the room, and they are usually a lot more comfortable with doing this stuff than some of us older, more seasoned people might be, okay? So don't be afraid to learn it. I know that Steve is going to talk a little bit about technology as well with his talk. If you don't know how to use this stuff, find somebody who can help you. If you got children, grandchildren, maybe a colleague, somebody, or maybe you want to employ somebody to do this. You were saying Roberta has somebody who does her socials for her. That's totally good too. If you've got budget for that, go for it, because we are having the time and inclination to constantly come up with content is really tough. That's probably the hardest part of doing it, especially when you're a sole operator, yeah? I'm just, if you haven't noticed, I ramble a bit, so I will come back to all this, I promise. But you need to keep yourself fresh in the minds, and I did put this in the pandemic, resulted in a bit of a downturn. I do think that things are probably picking up. I don't know, would you agree? Are your businesses where you want them to be now after the pandemic? Super busy? Want to be busier?
No, it's slow.
It's slow. Okay, yeah, thank you for your honesty. Yeah.
In particular this year, the first 6 months of this year is just dead quiet.
Okay, yeah. So why do you think that might be?
It's interest rates and extra money.
Yeah, so people are pulling back on expenditure. Yeah, definitely feeling that a bit, I think, across a lot of industries that might be considered, I don't want to say that massage and holistic therapy are considered luxury type of treatment, services. Okay.
You can live without it.
You can live without it, but you will still find some people will prioritize it still, and maybe, especially if they've got health fund cover, and even if the health fund cover isn't doing that much for them, they still have that feeling of like, well, I'm going to use my health fund cover, So I think with that in mind, you need to be really fresh and keep working on whatever you can do to bring your clientele in. So no, you probably aren't going to get a whole lot of new clientele from socials and things like that. I believe that in our industry, most of this comes from word of mouth. Most of our new business comes from referrals. Will we agree? Yeah, 100%. But if you have downtime, this is a great time for you to be focusing on your marketing and PR. Yeah.
So I was just going to say, like in my situation, when we are really, our situation is we have a zillion clients and over that we're turning away.
Amazing.
And we cannot get any therapists to actually come out to
Yeah.
arena in any shape, form, from high qualified allied health to massage to anything else.
Yeah, right.
So I've been advertising for over 4 years now in every avenue of that I can even arrange to. And
Amazing.
so anyway, anyone wants to come to Roma?
Sell us on Roma. Roma's how many hours inland from?
Too far away.
Yeah, inland from 6 hours. Inland from here.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah, so you're the opposite problem. Very interesting. And yeah, look, so much of it has to do with where your location is, what's your demographic, what services you're offering. And again, you know, how competitive you are within your own area. Are you a city type of, clinic, or are you a suburban one like I am? Or, there's a lot of things that play into this. So we're going to get into sort of demographics and where hopefully everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say the word demographics, but breaking down who your clientele are or who they could be, and really focusing on communicating with those groups particularly, okay? So why do we, again, getting back to this visibility and awareness, this is just generally letting people know that you're there. I don't know how anybody can have a business and not have a website these days. I'm hoping, you're smiling over there, have you got a website? No, okay, you don't need one? You don't reckon? Okay, fair enough.
No, but I've been doing it for so long.
Right, so some people are, yeah, so, and look, if you're just trotting along and you're okay with where you're at, then that's great. But like for me, we've got a few therapists working in the one space, we've got online bookings, we've streamlined a lot of things now so that, it works well without us having to put a lot of extra effort in. Online bookings is a fantastic tool for people. You can do it you're not even how you use it. Yeah, so it's not hard to get on an online booking platform now integrated into your website. So if you're not doing that now, have a look at what you can do there. It's not expensive. Usually, it's very easy to integrate that sort of thing, and it takes a lot of, hassle out of you having to answer phone calls or this sort of thing. Okay, so look at your online bookings, but also just your visibility and awareness, customer acquisition, brand building, competitive advantage, revenue growth, relationship building, blah, 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 etc. Okay, so not everybody wants to grow. I get that. And growing is not always the end, what we're trying to achieve. I grew my business and I now downscaled it because I wasn't happy having grown it, brought on a lot more stress, a lot more hassle for not much more profit. So, but you're going along and you're building, you're expanding, you expand your premises because all of a sudden you got more people wanting to come to you, and then all of a sudden you're going, oh my God, I got to do superannuation, I've got to do, BAS, and I've got to do, it just becomes overwhelming. So, my lesson, this isn't really to do with marketing, but in my personal experience, my lesson was actually being a sole operator is actually much more profitable and much more enjoyable to me. So I still have people working with me, but we're all independent operators now. Okay, so you'll find your own journey. If you just cruise along on your own and you're happy there, that's great. If you feel like you want to expand, maybe you want to franchise, maybe, but the point is to have your vision. I think sometimes if we don't sit down and think about where we actually want to be in a few years, you just suddenly end up there. And that's kind of what happened to me. I didn't actually strategically think about it all that much. It just grew. And all of a sudden I was like, oh God, this is too much. Okay. That's a bit of an aside, but we market our business, yes, for all of these reasons, but at the same time do have a vision of maybe where you want yourself to be in a few years. Okay. Business 101 sort of stuff. Yeah. Probably not my forte, to be honest, but I've done all right. All right, so again, these are just some talking points, really. So understanding needs, figure out what your customers need by doing some research. So it doesn't mean you have to be an expert in conducting market research. This can be just simple conversations with clients, or maybe put out a little survey, maybe do a little poll on Facebook, maybe, do you want to start operating one later evening per week, this sort of thing. So just get a feel for where you might be able to take your business, or where you might want to, offer something new, something like that. So asking your clients and customers is going to be your best approach. And you can do that without having to do it, face to face. There's plenty of tools online. There's Jotform is a really good one. I don't know what everybody's using for their intake forms, but I'm pretty sure they can do survey for you as well. SurveyMonkey, anyone use SurveyMonkey before? Yeah. So you can, I think it's free. I think you can use SurveyMonkey for free to create something you send out an email to your clients. Okay, so Survey monkey, we don't have a whiteboard, do we? It's 2 words, survey and then monkey. All right. And the other one I mentioned was job form. So job form is a free, don't judge me, my writing is terrible. I should have been a doctor. Okay, so, yeah, so there's a couple of resources, sorry, okay, so let's move on, because we don't have that much time here today. So creating value, develop products and services that fulfill the needs. So this is, thinking outside the square of what you do. Are you just doing, for me, I'm not a person who does I'm not a business owner who does a lot of discounting. I don't like discounting. But if you're a bit slow, there's a lot of ways you can value add. Okay, so make it attractive for new clients to come in. Maybe you have a referral program, a loyalty program. Maybe you're giving away a free essential oil with every massage that books in. Maybe you do, a lot of people do that thing where they do, 10 free massages and get the 9 paying massages, get the 10th free, that kind of thing. I steer away from that because you got to keep track of all that stuff. And I feel like it's a discounting sort of scenario, and I don't like doing that. Anyone else have good ideas for value adding? Yeah.
This year when it got to be, everybody's concerned about cost of living and prices went up, I think % from what we did in the plan. So we added subscriptions.
So membership.
So clients come in, they pay a small amount that they control every week. That gives you regular income, it gives you a guarantee once a month. Everybody comes in.
Good idea.
Yeah, doing subscriptions.
Okay, so that's really cool. I've never done subscriptions. I've done memberships before, which was like, $500 membership and you get such and such, but I love that. So you get like an extra 10% or whatever it was, but subscriptions, so they're paying every month or every week,
Fortnightly.
direct debit, sort of regular,
I sort that you sort it out with them, you have a set up a price tier or whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
But I can guarantee, it gives you guaranteed clients.
that's great, yeah.
Everyone's struggling, start looking at subscriptions.
Yeah, great idea. Okay, and that makes it really attainable for the client as well, because they don't feel that $30 or $40 a week, whatever, is much. Yeah, love that. So developing product services, that might also be, something new that you can add in, another service that's, if you're, I'm in a day spa, so it's easy for us to think about extra services we can do. We can do a free foot soap and scrub, or, we can do a Ayurvedic head massage or something with oils, or, so I know, sometimes with remedial massage, it's very much like just do remedial massage, but there's always, you're trained to work with muscles and, the whole body. So I'm sure there's other things you might be able to add into that. Maybe it's a free assisted stretching session, something like that, or a free consultation with you, where you spend an extra 20 minutes with that client, doing something in particular. Okay, so just thinking outside the square. Ayurveda, there's so much you could do there. That's amazing, and I can imagine. Okay, so let's get into communicating value, advertise your benefits effectively. So we talk a lot about in marketing comms, we talk a lot about the features and benefits, and the call to action. Okay, so this is when we get into real marketing nitty gritty, but I'm just using that as an example of how you can explain, the services that you're offering, how do they benefit your clients. So I spend a lot of time on my socials running reels of me doing some deep tissue massage or something, and then I'll just be going through, I'll just quickly highlight a couple of points about muscular relief, tension relief, whatever, just constantly reminding people about why the services you do will benefit them, benefit their health, benefit their mental, spiritual, psychological well-being, all of that sort of stuff. You need this, reminding new mom, you need this time out, stress at work, whatever it is, so you're constantly communicating with your groups, your client groups, about why they need to come and see you. Okay, is everyone doing that on their socials? I'm getting a few nods. No, not really. No time, or
Not into technology.
yeah. Okay, so that's
Time and technology.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, I get that, I hear that a lot, and the good thing is that nowadays, it's not that hard to figure out. It is, there's a little bit involved, but really using technology now to post videos and things like that is so easy. So it is, it's really like.
It's only trainings.
Hey,
It's only trainings that you know of.
no, is anyone else?
Somebody was like one stage teaching you how to use Instagram. It's like you follow someone follows you, then you appear into that audience.
Yeah,
You know, it's like you both building up to each other.
yeah.
But how, where is the start, you know, like.
Yeah, to be honest, you have to just start at the beginning
Steps.
and grow organically. So just because it's not like a build it and they will come scenario, it's not as simple as that with socials. It takes a long time to build up social media. It's don't be fooled into thinking, and don't get sucked into like these people who advertise it and
Some
say,
people is charging like $5,000 to teach you how to do it.
Just YouTube videos.
yeah, I just honestly, yeah.
You know, I would love to follow their courses. I found it's very educational and it's free. Is there something you go for, Facebook or something, somebody,
I don't know, has anyone else used any consultants or training
or
or
someone
anything?
involved,
I use
want to teach you?
ChatGPT now,
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. We'll talk a little bit about AI. Creating content with AI is a no-brainer. So again, don't think that you have to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't mean that it's writing for you or, it's taking over your brain. But if you just put in a question into AI, like write me a blog on how turmeric, is a great anti-inflammatory herb to introduce, or whatever, it'll blah, 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 I'll give you 10 paragraphs, and then you can just go in and edit that how you need it, and then you pop it up on your website, under your blog.
and write a marketing plan for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my business.
Yep.
You need a plan, I need a marketing plan, all the necessary functions.
Yeah.
Just have to get skills on your social media.
That's literally just a little website. You go into ChatGPT and you ask a question, and then it'll just go do. It's a little scary, but it's very, very useful. So don't be afraid of it. I use it all the time in my businesses and in my teaching as well. Sometimes I'll be like, can you give this assessment?
Well, even if you're using Instagram or something, if you just have a couple of clients that follow you, they like something that you've done, it'll start coming up on their friends' feeds. And I've had clients come in and, it came up for them because, one of my friends liked something of yours. So then she went, what's this about? And then she came in and went, maybe I'll come in for a session. So that's how it grows organically. And it does only just take a couple of people for it to start.
Yeah, it just takes time. I mean, you just have to start. You have to start where you have to start at the beginning, and then over time it will start to grow. The more you're posting, remember the feeds and the algorithm. The algorithm, that's the word I was looking for. It's looking.
If you don't post nearly every 1 week or every 2 weeks, they just push you down.
Pretty much. Yeah. I post almost every day. I post almost every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What online booking systems works for everybody? Like I've got a Power Diary. What's everyone else using?
I just pay for Pressure.
Pressure.
That one's a little bit expensive, but it might be working for you as are you sole operator or? Yeah.
So is it 90 a month or how much is your?
They told I just pay about 1,500 for the whole pack.
The whole pack? Is that
And the whole,
because Power Diary is $90 a month, but then it's 17 cents a text, so they send messages. You receive a message, they need you 17 cents.
I use this one. It's only $25 per operator per month.
Simple salon.
Simple salon. Who else? Salon. Clinical.
Clinico's one.
Clinico. Clinico.
Tarot.
Tarot.
No,
I was just writing that you'll find that you really need to look into clinical diaries, because all of them do different things.
Yeah.
Power diaries, the beginning at one stage was the word of practice. They wrote a word practice book that was for free, and some of their templates. But if that's not relevant to you, If you only want a booking system, Setmore is a really good one. It gives you free text messages, but it doesn't give any clinical notes at all.
Do we have to have clinical notes for our registration, like for our?
Yeah, like we
We
keep
have to
ours,
have clinical notes.
we keep ours in just a little, like, comments, we keep sub notes and we just write them into our little note boxes that we have with this one.
Yep.
So I guess that's enough to meet your health fund requirement. Yeah, just keeping written notes that way, electronic notes. Yeah, so I think it's worth, everybody has slightly different requirements, just make sure it integrates into your website easily. So that, people can jump on your website and then go straight to your book now button. Yeah.
Yeah, the example, they provide the photographer to take photo of your clinic and take it a little bit, like a short video and put on our website as well.
Oh, so like create a little website, yeah, which, I have that for my yoga studio, it's called Simply Book Me. So it's not part of my main spa website, even though I link to that, but it's like a separate little booking system, actually.
Ovatu is good for that, you have your own little, they give you a little website.
Ovatu.
OVATU.
Yeah, I've heard of that one, and then I'm on Simply Book Me for my yoga studio. So there's so many out there. You just need to find the one that works for you. So we sort of got a bit derailed, a little bit off tangent there. Building relationships, obviously we talked about referrals before and how important that is in our industry. So it really is about the relationships you build are probably more important than even being on socials or anything else. And I don't think I need to tell you guys how to do that. You're all therapists, and I think we know how important that is, that connection. But all I would say there is that, have something in place to maybe, help them to feel recognized if they are referring other people to you. So whether you do something.
I actually joined the team in Townsville called BNI, Business Relationships Integration. We meet every week, 7 a.m. One person from each business unit, like real estate, car sales. I'm the only remedial therapist in my team.
Yeah.
And I give them a weekly update what I do, and then they broadcast my cards out to business, and we give each other referrals so they can do group up to 40 people in the team.
Yeah, so I'll just call that networking groups and how important they are. Yeah, like I'm involved in a couple of business women's groups and local community. They're everywhere, and you said BNI is like the one, I've heard of that. So take advantage of those, go to your breakfasts, go to your women's meeting groups, your men's groups, whatever it is, your men's shed, all that stuff, and get involved in networking. It definitely will help your business. Yeah, and but in terms of referrals from your clients, maybe it's just you give them a little gift, once in a while, because of that person that keeps referring the clients to you. So just look after them, that's all I would say. But, and again, I don't think I need to, preach on about that. You probably know what you're doing in that regard, okay? Stay flexible, adjust strategies based on market shifts. Well, the COVID was the biggest shift we've had to adapt to in a long time, right? So we were able, in Queensland, we were very lucky, we were able to keep offering remedial massage. So yes, solid plus in Queensland still were able to treat. You weren't?
We had 5 months.
We didn't have. We had 6 weeks. Yeah, we really like. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like Victoria was months and months. So
But we couldn't move. So
yes. Yeah. So you personally would have, So
and personally did really well because they were captured on this.
yeah. But I guess it comes back to this idea. I mean, I'm just using that example of COVID, but if something unexpected happens that's outside of your control, use your time so you have time for other things, business planning, marketing. Stay active on all your socials. Do it and don't stop just because everything else is stopped around you or something's changed around you. Okay, it's just a lesson. That was a big lesson in that. We talked about setting goals, target audiences. Okay, so I don't know unless you are really niche in what you do in terms of the target group. So everyone knows what I talk about when I'm saying demographic groups. Demographics, yeah, we all know that term. Look, for most of us, like, I know we treat everything from, 10-year-olds up to 80-year-olds in my clinic. I mean, you're probably saying a lot of you. So it's hard to say, we're going to just focus on one demographic of the services that we do, because we're across the board, which is a lot of what we do. But if you are trying to market to a particular group for a particular reason, then sit down and have a think about what it is that group needs. Your younger generation, who are now calling, what generation are we now?
Alpha.
Huh?
Alpha.
Alpha. What's that age range? It's your kids or something. Isn't it?
Kids really, like,
I think after 2007.
Yeah, right. Okay. 2010. So 2010 is the group that has been the most fundamentally affected by the introduction of the smartphone. So we know that they are the generation that is most connected to their smartphones and living off what's happening there. So their thinking, their way of comprehending, the way you market to them and sell to them is going to be significantly different than even to someone who comes, who was born in 2000. Just remember that. Think about these things. They're speaking a whole different language now. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has children in the same. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to try to keep up to date as best you can with the changes in society, in demographics of society, because when you're trying to market to them, talk to them, it's going to be a very different approach than if you talk to somebody like us who are all in our 40s and 60s. Okay? So that's all I really want to say about that. It just takes a little bit of time to break it down and think about what's the message we're trying to reach. Okay. That goes without saying. Ethical considerations, obviously, honesty, customer privacy, and product safety is super important. Yeah, time's just flying, isn't it? What I got left?
I gave you an extra 10 because we started late, so 12 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Geez. I'm going to skip through some of this. So the 7 Ps, don't get too hung up on this. This is just technical marketing strategy stuff, okay? And it's when we're doing a marketing strategy, if we were to go to ChatGPT and ask it to produce one, it would probably touch on each of these areas. So, or if you're studying marketing at school, anyone studied any marketing? Yeah, you did? Yeah, a long time ago. Long time ago. So when I did marketing, it was 4 Ps. Tells you how. Yeah. So we've got 3 more Ps now. I don't know what happened. I don't know when that came about, but just a quick, scan of these and things to think about: product, price, place, promotion, people, packaging, process, and of course that is, well, it's product and service. It's product and services. So don't think that this is just in regard to how you market products. Because yeah, we do have packaging. That's kind of how we, how do we package our business, how do we present our business. Okay, so just things to think about if you're looking at a marketing strategy. These are all important points, and it takes a lot of work to break down exactly each of those sections of the pie. Okay, if you're a strategy person, you like doing this sort of stuff. Every business should have a business strategy and a marketing strategy as well, even if you're just a solopreneur. Okay? I'm not saying I'm always the best at it. I should be, but I'm not, but just keep it in mind. Okay, everyone understands what SEO is? Yes? Search engine optimization. So this is how, what we were getting at before with like here, how you get found online. Okay, so Google My Business is a no-brainer. You really, if you're wanting more business, I should say, you must be on Google with your business listed.
It's not just marketing, people need to know where you are. And
all that.
They need to know your business.
Directions, maps, yeah, your hours of operation, all that stuff. So at a minimum, you should really have your business listed there. You will become the owner of that listing on Google, and then you can actually post it. You can actually post photos and things like that, or people can check in, not check in, but people can, clients, I believe, post photos on Google as well of your place, and yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it tells people who you are, what you do, how to get there, and it also has reviews. Reviews are super important. Okay, we all agree on that. For those of you who are into your websites and all that, reviews on Google and reviews on socials, super important. Okay, people look at reviews when they're. I know I do. I assume most other people look at reviews when you're booking a accommodation, when you're looking for a new service or a new tradesperson, when you're looking at a restaurant, almost always we look at reviews. Now, a lot of times, it doesn't mean you have to have a 5-star review all the time, because most people will read through, they see something that's negative, and they can see it's a bit dodgy, the negative review, then they'll usually understand that that's either a really difficult customer, and it was their fault, or it's somebody who's just put up a negative review, because people do that, they just put up negatives, and it's just be jerks, okay? So, it is really great, you know, to build your reviews, and again, it takes time. I think I've got 200 reviews on my Facebook page, and we've got 4.9 star rating, something like that. That I've been in that location 12 years. Okay.
I have 5-star on Google reviews, over.
Over 100, that's awesome, yeah. Good job.
But just one.
Yeah, one bad one. It's so annoying, you can reply to it, of course,
Yeah,
and say something like, actually, I don't think you've ever taken my clinic, or something like that. I don't know who you are. All right, so when we talk about SEO, do I need to wrap up after this one? Probably?
8 minutes.
Okay. When we talk about search engine optimization, this is how people, this is how you organically grow through on your online presence. And that means you need to have words and terminology within your website, within your Facebook page, anywhere that you're writing about yourself, that will the system, right, the robot AI out there will find you and bring you up through search listings, okay? The algorithm, whatever you want to call it. So that means, I've used it like an example here, names of places and landmarks that people are likely to search for. So make it as specific as you can. And we know this with hashtagging as well, for those of you who are on socials, it's the hashtags you use. So it's not only massage Brisbane, it might be massage West End. You know, it's being specific about where you're located. You know, maternity massage Roma, you know, very specific type of terminology so that people who are looking for that stuff. Otherwise, if you just put in massage Brisbane, you can imagine how many places will come up. Okay, so try to be specific in the language that you use around your business. Okay, so we talked about reviews as well. I might just do one more slide, we've got time. And you identify your customer pain point. So I don't mean only just the obvious pain point of the customer client comes in and has, you know, plantar fasciitis or whatever. I mean the pain point of, we use this terminology in marketing comms all the time. What is their pain point or their problem, and what are you trying to solve?
In my clinic, the pain point is my price is quite high, and like STF can't claim with my clinic. Yeah, some clients use the STF insurance. Yeah, that's my pain point. They can't claim in my clinic.
I understand, yeah. So in this case, that's your customer's pain point in this one is that they want to use HDF. Yeah, but it also has to do with things like the customer's pain point can even be a little more, you know, obvious than that. Just that I'm trying to give another example. You know, they just they need. I'll just use the obvious one. If they need stress relief, and the solution is that you can offer treatments that will give them that pain, that will give them that relief. Okay, so their pain point is about what are you trying to help them, what is their problem, and what solution are you offering? Okay, that's how we mean pain point in this case.
Can I just say, often it's not what you think, like they want to be able to keep up with their grandkids.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You'll be able to keep up with your grandkids, you'll be able to play and pick up your grandkids.
I love that, and there's so much like around that you could do on social media and all that stuff, you know, or a great blog. That's a great one for a blog. I'm going to steal that, you know, like, and blog. Let's talk quickly about blogging and vlogging here. I think I have it listed somewhere. So vlogging is your video blogs or your reels or your stories or talking to the camera. It is a really hard thing to overcome if you're not used to it. Yeah, just practice as much as you can. I'm going to keep purposes here, but I'm not great at it either. I don't do a lot of the live talking to my camera. I should do more. I do a lot of posting, but it's not always that sort of thing. But you are the face of your brand. They want to hear from you. I'm going to finish with that because that's back to where we started. You are the expert. You are there to help these people in their journey of feeling better in whatever way that is that you're offering. They want to hear from you. Okay? So get used to that. Write as much content as you can. Don't be afraid to just get as much out there as you possibly can. Any other comments or anything before we finish? There's a lot more we could go on about. I think I had about 10 more slides, but.
Actually, I will throw a comment in. Generally, when you do a lot of marketing is when you're slow. One of the things that affects SEO the most is doing everything together. It's smart enough now to realise that this may not be legit if you've got 100 reviews in 1 month. So it's one of those things that you need to work on. And most of that has been done by the fact that they're trying to get you to go and pay for someone to write your reviews. So sometimes you'll notice if you're lucky enough that you've got a whole heap of reviews in 1 month because by luck everyone's really ecstatic with it, your SEO will actually drop. And you'll actually be lower on like the Google searches and things like that. So just got to be mindful that SEO is a tricky thing and AI keeps changing. And because of that, it obviously just sort of got a the gradual slog is probably as good as any sort of big campaign when it comes to SEO.
Yes.
Can I just add, everyone's starting off with Canva.
Yeah.
Because Canva, you get onto Insta, you get onto Facebook, they have templates, they now have AI, pay for Canvas. You can schedule your book or your posts and it will automatically put it on Facebook and Insta for you.
Yeah.
So instead of having to sit down and if you've only got 1 night a week, you can do a post every second night or something, and on Canva, you can schedule it, you don't have to sit there and do a box and do it every day.
Yeah, there are schedulers out there.
Get onto Canva, it has a scheduler system, you can automatically post to Facebook, Instagram, link it, and there's a lot of AI and some templates.
Yeah, it's very easy to create things online with Canva. It's really easy, brochures and all sorts of stuff. So yeah.
Just a small one I'd suggest is MailChimp.
Yeah.
Lots of people know about that one. Basically replaces junk mail and on the road, it's just a newsletter that you can create as many as you want. And it's kind of a nice solution for people that don't love social media. You just write a little newsletter.
Yeah.
It gets sent out to people back and they see it, brand, whatever it is.
Yeah, I was using MailChimp for years.
I like it. I think they do surveys in that too.
Yeah, they do, yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few online platforms that will do emails for you and all that sort of stuff too. So yeah, there's a lot of resources there for you guys, which is great. But yeah, hopefully that you picked something up from that today. So see you all online soon, right?
Absolutely. Can everyone please put their hands together?